Welcome into another edition of That's Deep. I'm Tommy Z, joined as always by Johnny Bravo. Johnny, coming off the best card of the year so far, we were pretty confident last week, looking for a bounce back spot, and we nailed it. If you watched the show, we every pick we made was correct. Swept the board on the bets on the sheet, and I know you crushed on your picks. So not as good of a card this week. I'm a little less confident, but I'm kind of curious to see where you're at. But how you feeling coming into this card?
Oh man, feeling great off a epic card, legacy card, crushed. Um, yeah, it was really good, and now we come to the apex, to the dumpster fire, and we gotta
Yes,
pick
sir.
through and see where we're at.
Yeah, this one's we've got there's some good spots on this card, I think, but there is a lot of garbage to pick through. We got some pretty big favorites that typically speaking, you're not gonna see as that size of a favorite. So, we got to figure out where we want to place our money, but we've been rolling along. Aside from that card a couple weeks ago, we've been pretty hot. So let's keep the good times rolling and let's jump right into it. Our first fight is in the women's strawweight division. We've got Vanessa Demopoulos taking on Talita Alencar. Basically a coin flip fight here. They're both kind of sloppy on the feet. They both have pretty decent. Well, Alencar's got very good grappling. Demopoulos, she's a black belt as well. Both, there's some flaws in both of their games. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, this one, I mean, low level women's MMA fight. I mean, Alencar, I mean, she's world class BJJ, competition grappler, a lot of credentials. On the feet, nothing. She's real small too. That's her thing. She's a real short, real small girl. Yeah, I mean the striking isn't really all that great. The cardio is not that great. Um, she struggled in her last fight to get takedowns. I mean, so it's I don't know about her. I have a lot of. I was kind of high on her coming off. I mean, because she kind of bit down and on the Contender Series fight, and she pulled out a tough decision, and I was kind of high on her. And she kind of just disappointed in the rematch in the next fight. So yeah, I don't know. Demopoulos isn't really hard to take down. I mean, I think Demopoulos probably has a striking edge here. Yeah, I mean, Demopoulos' takedown defense is not great, so Alencar might not have a lot of problems getting her down. But I don't know. Demopoulos is just always in a close fight, always in these close split decisions. So, I mean, it's probably going to be a split. It's probably going to be a super close fight. Um, I mean, I would have to go with Demopoulos here. Just off just being more gritty, the better striker. If Alencar struggles to get some takedowns, then on the feet, I'd definitely give it to Demopoulos. So, yeah, I'm gonna roll with Demopoulos here.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. Really, what it came down to for me is Alencar doesn't really like pressure. When she gets pressured, she kind of collapses. And while Demopoulos isn't a great fighter, one thing she does is come forward, even when she's getting cracked. She's very hittable. They're both very hittable. But Demopoulos will come forward. She will take damage to land strikes, and she will keep a pace for the better part of 3 rounds. She does fade a little bit herself. Her cardio is not, the best in the world, but she never stops coming forward, never stops throwing strikes. And I think that's going to be the difference in this fight. They both can grapple. I don't think that Alencar jiu-jitsu is going to play too big a factor. I mean, I guess it could, but her MMA jiu-jitsu hasn't looked, top of the world. So, yeah, I think Demopoulos just kind of pushes a better pace, and she looks better late. And I think Demopoulos gets the job done. All right, so I'm just seeing this now on UFC. So hold on, I don't know. Did you hear any news about the Boudet and Chechiku fight getting
No.
canceled? Because I'm seeing Boudet versus Uran Sadibaldiev, which that's the first time
Oh,
I've
I don't
seen
know.
that. So I don't know if
Yeah.
something's changed, but
While you go, I can look it up.
Yeah. So we'll skip over that one for right now. That's right now. It's listed on UFC.com as the number 2 fight. The next fight after that, which we can get into, is in the bantamweight division. We've got Victor Henry taking on Pedro Falcao. Victor Henry, he's an older guy. He got into the UFC late. He's pretty good volume, pretty good grappler. He can be taken down, and he can get himself in bad spots on the ground. Falcao is, he's coming out looking to grapple basically from bell to bell. Interesting fight here for sure. But what are your thoughts on this one?
And yeah, the Boudet fight is off.
Okay.
Kennedy's out. Yeah, Henry. I mean, pressure fighter. Good. Good cardio. Is gonna walk forward, throw a good striker. Good grappler, good well-rounded guy. He is older. I think he's 37. He's up there. But I mean, he's still a grimy, competitive guy. He's gonna fight for your money. He's gonna bite down. He's gonna throw. I didn't like his last performance, how he was kind of winning that fight, and then I was on him against Jourdain, and then Jourdain snuck in that guillotine. I wasn't too happy about that. And this is going to be kind of the thing that he has to watch out for here in this fight. This guy that he's fighting is he's going to come forward. He's going to shoot takedowns. He's constant pressure, always on the front foot. So in his game, world-class submission. Falcao, the striking really isn't that great, but I mean, he's going to throw volume and walk forward and can constantly pressure. Yeah, this is an interesting one. I mean, I like Henry. I think Henry probably gets it done and probably by decision, but I don't know. It could get tricky with Falcao's BJJ. Yeah, but I don't know. He didn't land any takedowns in his last fight. He was 1 for 13. I don't know if he's going to be able to take Henry down. So yeah, I think it's Henry and probably Henry by decision.
Yeah, I kind of was back and forth on this fight because I do feel like Henry is probably the better overall fighter. But I have seen him get grappled a bit and held down. So I don't know, man. I think this one's close. I had picked Falcao to win it. So that's going to be my official play here. But it is tough because Victor Henry, he does put up good volume. If it is on the feet, he's going to look better. So it all comes down to is Falcao if he can get him to the ground. And if he does, what does he do with that grappling? So as of right now, I'm rolling Falcao, but not a ton of confidence in this one. But yeah, I'm gonna roll with him for now. We'll see how we get to on the fight night. All right, our next fight is in the women's strawweight division. We've got Loma Lukebomi taking on Estela Nunes. Nunes has had just a terrible run of luck in her last 4 or 5 fights. She's had injuries. She's just, she's been finished in 3 of her last 4. Taking on Loma, who's kind of just a kind of a steady Eddie type fighter. She comes forward. She's got good Muay Thai. She's got solid throws. Doesn't always use the grappling, but she does have a bit of a grappling base. Well, not base, but she does have some nice throws. She has a solid top game, good ground and pound. Very, very wide number here. Loma, I think last I looked, she was minus 850 on DK. But what are your thoughts here? Anything stand out to you?
Yeah, I like Loma. I'm a fan of Loma. She's a great fighter. Great Muay Thai striking, great striking, well-rounded. Like lately, she's been implementing that wrestling in her game plan. She's really a solid fighter. We haven't seen her in a while, which is kind of a concern why she hasn't fought in a while. I don't know really what that's about, but yeah, she took a break, and she's coming back here against Nunes, who in her last fight, her arm pretty much snapped in half. Yeah, I mean, she's also a great Muay Thai striker. She comes out hot, firing in round one. Seemingly in all of her fights, she comes out firing in round one. I mean, she dropped Hawigi in their fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, but problem with her is her cardio. It's like she's got 5 minutes and she just completely just falls off a cliff. And Loma is going to be there the whole 15 pushing the pace. Um, Yeah, I mean, I like Loma here, and I think she probably can get takedowns. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. And I think an angle I was looking at is probably the sub. I think
Yeah.
Loma, if she gets her down late, tired, that she can lock something up. So yeah, Loma by sub for me.
Yeah, I was looking at that as well. I do think that's very live. She does have that grappling. She's done a lot of grappling recently, so she's improved in that category. And yeah, like you said, the cardio is definitely going to be in her favor. So that goes a long way. Late second, third round. You know, you can grab a sub when you have your opponent ready to get out of there. So I agree with you, man. I'll probably be on the sub with you. I think Loma wins this fight kind of however she wants to. I think she is a really good fighter. She's fought some, pretty decent competition in the UFC. Her losses are, pretty close losses and against some pretty solid fighters. So yeah, I like Loma. I mean, I hate that the number is just completely out of control, so you can't really bet the money line, even in a parlay. But yeah, I think Loma gets it done, and I do think there is a chance that she finishes this fight.
Yeah.
All right, we move on to the next fight on the card. We've got welterweight bout, Reese McKee taking on Daniel Frunza. Frunza is making his UFC debut coming off the Contender Series. McKee is a guy who has some pretty good skills. He's tough as nails, man. He'll fight till the very end. So far in the UFC, he just hasn't been able to put it together. But here he's taking on a guy making his debut who's, maybe a little less than the guys he's fought in the UFC so far. This is an interesting fight to me. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, that's an interesting one. Frunza, coming in, he's a good striker. He's got a lot of power in his hands, making his debut here. So, I mean, from what I've seen, I mean, he's got a lot of power. I mean, he's pretty well rounded, I think he's got some grappling in his back pocket if he wants to use it. Yeah, but I mean, that power is just really impressive in his hands. And, Reese McKee, I mean, he's kind of one of these cage warrior guys that just like never really made it in the UFC, kind of a punching bag, good cardio. He's tough as nails. You're gonna need a sledgehammer to put this guy away. Yeah, super, super tough. But I don't know if the skills are there. But I don't know if I'm that high on Frunza either. Yeah, this is a tough one for me. I lean like probably taking a shot. Maybe Frunza can find the knockout late, like a 2-3 KO for Frunza. But yeah, I'm really not excited. I mean, money line wise, it would definitely be McKee, but I wouldn't be excited. So probably get like a prop, like a Frunza KO or something.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I know I don't like clicking the button on McKee anymore. I've gone to bat for the guy a few times, and it hasn't really paid off. He's come close. I mean, the fight against God, I can't think of Losa. He came on strong in the third round, basically had him dead to rights. And if he started fighting like that middle of the second round, he probably wins that fight. And that's kind of what he is, though. He almost feels like another Jai Herbert. He's got the skills. He's got the cardio to go. He's got good size. There's a lot of good about Reese McKee, but he has not been able to put it together. The one thing I will say though is these debuting fighters coming off the Contender Series, they don't always look the best in their debut. I think in a spot like this, McKee has some UFC experience. He's fought some pretty tough guys. I'm going to roll McKee here. But I agree with what you're saying. I think Frunze finish props are live. McKee does take some serious damage. Even though he is tough, he's a survivor. His cardio is good, but yeah, he puts himself out there to be hit, and anybody can be cracked at any given time. Frunze does have some pretty big power. Officially, the pick for me is going to be McKee. I'm going to take the shot on him here. I think he's better than what he's shown in the UFC, but I've said that about a couple other guys, and it doesn't always pay off.
He's a
But
Cage
yeah,
Warriors
I'm going to
guy.
roll with McKee here. It's tough to put my money behind him, but I'm going to take the shot. All right, our next fight is another massive squash match in terms of the odds. We got Diana Belbicha taking on Diana Barbosa. Belbicha's got some decent striking. Her grappling is, there's a lot to be desired there. Barbosa, big, strong, powerful. She's got, good striking, strong grappling. You would expect her to get the fight to the ground, and that's where she's going to dominate here, and that's why the odds are kind of crazy. But what are your thoughts on this one? Anything jump out to you?
Yeah, Belbita, she's kind of been in and out of the game. She's always talking about like retirement after every single one of her fights. Molly McCann subbed her. Like you said, she does have some good kickboxing. She's all right there, but with grappling, it's just nowhere to be found. You take her down, and she's just like, she just it's like you can automatically sub her. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Like just the submission defense is just so terrible, and like I'm hearing also as well that this is probably her last fight. She doesn't really care if she wins or she loses. Kind of a retirement fight. You know what I mean? She's on a bad run, so. Yeah, and Barbosa, she's a big, strong, physical girl, good striking, good grappling, good subs. She's fought some, relatively tough competition here in the UFC since coming in. And yeah, I think she's just the overall strength, better fighter. Like, she's going to be strong in there. And I think she's probably going to be able to get takedowns at will whenever she wants and pretty much do whatever she wants in this fight. Saying she's the big favorite. Yeah, I don't really see where Belbita wins. I guess she keeps it at a distant kickboxing match and wins a close decision. But at some point, this fight is hitting the ground. At some point,
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's going to be Barbosa, probably Barbosa by sub. I think that's the clear path here, the clear way to go.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. She's just too big, strong, and just her grappling is good. And yeah, like you said, Belbicha, God only knows. Like, I don't even know why she's still even fighting at this point. She's talked about retiring multiple times. She's had some bad losses. Losing to Molly McCann by sub is not a great look. Obviously we've seen what McCann's looked like the past, 3 or 4 fights, and the one time she's really looked great was against Belbicha. So not a good look there. Yeah, and I just think Barbosa just probably ragdolls her and gets her to the ground and finds the neck, and that's all she wrote. So I agree. I think Barbosa gets it done. I think she stubs her. And yeah, not much more to say about that one. All right, our next fight is a lot more competitive, I would say. In the bantamweight division, we've got Davey Grant taking on Daniel Santos. Davey Grant, he's old. He's an older guy at bantamweight. It's generally not a great thing, but he keeps trucking along. Santos, he looks good. He's we've seen him get rocked a little bit in his career, but he comes back strong, and he's got all the skills. This to me, this is a very competitive fight. Davey Grant's always in a tough fight. He's got solid power, which is always scary. Taking on a guy 10 years younger than him. So generally speaking, that doesn't bode well for these guys, but so far Davey Grant's kind of bucked the trend. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I'm a fan of Davey Grant. Just a junkyard dog, just bites down, throws bombs. Always in a war, always in a fun fight. and he's a dog, man. He'll fight for your dollar. He's a good underdog. He'll fight for your money. He'll bite down and throw bombs. And he's got some grappling in his back pocket too. He's got a good sub game. Yeah, I mean, I like Davy Grant, but I mean, he's getting up there in age, and it's like, how much more damage can you take? How much longer can you do it? But I mean, he looks good. He's coming off a layoff here too. I think it's maybe a 1.5 year layoff. I think around there. When was his last fight?
A little bit of a layoff for him.
Yeah. So I mean, he's got the skills. He's a dog, man. And Santos, another layoff, another guy coming off another layoff. I think. So it's like Willie Cat Santos. He's a great fighter. And he's good striker, good grappling, good power in his hands. It's also he's been away, so we don't really know what that's about. But I mean, this is a tough one, man. It's it's hard to go against Davy Grant because he's going to be there the whole fight, just throwing bombs, just always making it greasy.
Yeah.
This is a tough one for me to pick. I kind of want to pick Santos, but I hate fading Grant as a dog. Like, it's just, you almost kind of just got to bet it. And I don't know, maybe you get a better number live here or something. But, yeah, I think I'm going to go with Grant here. Grant to just be the tougher guy, bite down, throw big bombs, and edge out. Maybe he catches Santos. He's got power in his hands. So I don't know. I like Grant. I'm going to roll with the dog here in this spot.
Yeah, this is one.
Should be fight of the night too. Big contender for fight of the night. Should be all action banger.
Definitely a great fight. Great fight. Yeah, I mean, I went back and forth on this one. I like Davy Grant. It's tough to bet against him. But at some point, like, you got to think the age catches up to him. I mean, we haven't seen it yet, but I don't know, man. Santos he's a dog too, man. We saw him get hurt in that Castaneda fight.
These odds are closing pretty quick, and that plus money's going. So if this gets down to near pick'em, this closes pick'em, I'm gonna probably bet Santos at a pick'em.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the closer the odds, the better it is for Santos. But yeah, man, Davy Grant, he could definitely catch him. I mean, Castaneda had a great first round against this kid, and but Santos came back strong. He's tough. He's one of those shoot the box guys that just you got to kill them, or they're going to keep coming forward. They're tough. They've got well-rounded skill set, and that's what this kid has. Again, though, Davy Grant, it's tough to click the button against Davy Grant. I lean slightly Santos here. I mean, honestly, if you're just going off, the trends, 10-year age gap at a lightweight class like this, generally speaking, it goes towards the younger guy. But like I said, Davy Grant, he's beat a couple of young guys in the past, recent past. So you can't always go with that, but I don't know. I think Santos does enough. I think if Davy Grant does clip him, he's got to put him away, because if he doesn't, the kids are going to come back strong, and he's not going to quit. So, yeah, I'm going to lean Santos here. I do think just the youth might be enough to get it done. Not one that I'm overly excited about. I mean, I'm excited to watch it for sure. But, yeah, the confidence is not there. I know it's going to be a tough, close fight. So the live betting is definitely going to be in play here. But yeah, I'm gonna roll Santos, and yeah, we'll see what we get to.
Yeah, plus money, I'm probably going to be on Grant, but I mean, if the odds close, then I'm probably on Santos, because I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense.
It's close fight, man. It's close.
Yeah,
So it's a good one.
Yeah.
All right, we will move on. The next fight is in the welterweight division. We've got Taurus Finney taking on Robert Valentine. Finney is basically a fire hydrant out there. Dude's he's short, jacked out of his mind, strong grappling. Taking on Valentine, who's also got good grappling. But we saw and his last fight kind of got outworked in the later part of that fight and ended up getting submitted. I was very excited last night. I had the Dodgers first 5 minus a half a run. I thought that was easy money with Finney, and that what's his name, Muncy, couldn't throw the ball to first base, and I lost that ticket. So I did have a plus money ticket on Finney. I was very excited about, and now I'm gonna have to rebet him. But what are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I mean, I like Finney. I mean, we've seen him on the Contender Series. I mean, first time, three-time contestant. Came in, got a finish in his first fight. They didn't sign him. Told him go back and get another fight. Goes, start to some guy, comes back, wins a decision, still doesn't get a contract. Comes back, destroys the guy, and then he gets his contract. Yeah, good, strong. Jacked fucking power wrestler. With good power in his hands, decent striking. He's gonna. I mean, his grappling is pretty strong. I mean, he's that double leg. He can just blast and take you down right away. He's got good ground and pound. He's got subs too on the ground. Yeah, I mean, I like this Finney guy. I mean, he's all right, but his problem is going to be when a guy can be able to stuff his takedown and maybe extend them on the feet. That's where I would see him having a problem. But in Valentine, we've seen him in the Tough House. Wasn't really too high on him. He lost in the finale to Ryan Loader, but I think he got he got taken down and beat up and destroyed. So yeah, I mean, I could maybe see Valentine catching him with something big on the feet. Finney has been hurt in other fights on the feet, but yeah, I don't see him subbing him Finney because I mean Finney has no neck. It's just pretty much his head and his shoulders. So I mean, I see Finney probably being able to take him down at will and just do whatever he wants to get the job done. If he has to take him down and just beat him up for 3 rounds, then he will. If he finds a finish, then he will. But I think he wins this fight at a pretty high clip. I don't think Valentine's takedown defense is very good. So yeah, the pick for me is Finney.
Yeah, I agree. I think Finney smashes him. And even if the fight does get extended, I don't think Valentine's the type of dude that's going to really capitalize on that because I think when the fights get extended for him too, he's I don't think he's anything special. So yeah, I think Finney has worked his ass off to get to this spot. I mean, he's the only guy in the history of the Contender Series to win 3 fights. We saw him go the distance on the Contender Series, which is a good thing to see. And yeah, I just think he's way stronger, and his grappling's gonna be strong enough. And I think he wins this fight, and I think he probably finds a finish in this one. All right, our next fight is in the flyweight division. We've got Ode Osborne taking on Louis Garul. Ode Osborne, a guy who's very dangerous early in fights. He's got good power. He's got some decent submissions, but he's another one of those guys that tends to find a way to lose fights. I mean, we saw it in his last fight. He dropped the dude. He had him in a deep triangle and still found a way to lose that fight, taking on Garul, another Contender Series guy here who likes to grapple. And this is an interesting fight. It's always interesting with Ode, but what are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't really trust Ode. I mean, he's let me down. I had him against Lazy Boy in his last fight, drops him, rocks him, almost subs him. I mean, and just always lets the fight go. I mean, the cardio sucks. I mean, he does have power early, but he fades after about 5 minutes. 5-7 minutes is all he's got, and he's decently well-rounded, I guess, but I mean, it's just the cardio and just the fight IQ is just so bad. It's hard for me to get behind this guy anymore,
Yeah.
And Grule on the Contender Series against Piccinini he impressed me, he was able to just he did get taken down, but he was able to get back up. You know, he's going to throw a lot of volume. He's going to throw some heat behind it. You know, yeah, he's a good striker, good fighter from what I see. You know, but this isn't really a test. You know, I think he should be able to just. I mean, Ode Osborne is relatively like low volume, so I mean, I don't see how he wins a decision here. The only path I see for Ode is probably an early finish, like a round one.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's it. A fluke round one, like you know, he catches them. But I think Goulet just over time just is able to just beat him up, out volume him, and I think he probably could finish him. It wouldn't surprise me. So yeah, the pick for me is Goulet, and probably Goulet by KO.
Yep, I'm with you. I do think the finish is live. Yeah, Ode he's good early. Maybe there's a live betting spot here too, because he does come out and he does have good first rounds. So, maybe Ode comes out, has a good first round, and we can get a good number live. But yeah, I mean, I just can't. There's Ode is just he's had chances to win fights, and he just somehow he fumbles it away. And some guys, that's just who they are. And when the cardio is a factor, that plays a role. And for him, to me, cardio is a factor. So yeah, I agree. I think Goulet gets it done. Yeah, and I think there's a finish, but I also think we could also get a nice live number too. So I think there's going to be a couple ways to bet this one, but yeah, I just at this point, Ode Osborne, not a guy that I can trust, and by hook or by crook, he finds a way to lose fights. So yeah, give me Goulet here. All right. Our next fight is in the middleweight division. We've got Brad Tavares taking on Gerald Meerschaert. And, I feel like before even talking to you, we're kind of going to be on the same page here. But, Tavares is a pretty solid favorite here against Meerschaert. And I'm not a big Tavares guy. His volume's not very high. He's not a finisher. To me, this feels like a Meerschaert spot. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, this is an interesting one. I mean, Tavares. I mean, we know what we're getting out of this guy. He's coming from that city kickboxing. He's got good kickboxing. He's been in the UFC forever. He's been in a lot of wars. He's taken a lot of damage. He's pretty tough though, and pretty durable. But it's kind of the durability lately has kind of been going away.
Yeah.
That Dricus fight. I mean, Dricus fight was just. I mean, he just got beat down in that fight, and then the Gregory Rodriguez fight was just, he took a lot of damage there, and just, it's just, I mean, Chris Weidman, you got Chris Weidman on one leg, and you can't finish that dude. Like we were on him to finish, I think that night.
Yeah, we were.
So and he, I mean, it was terrible. But I mean. He is a good striker. He's still's got good cardio, But I mean, GM3 is like, man, GM3 is not the best striker in the world. He has been looking. I mean, he looked good in the DeRitter fight until he didn't. He got round 3, his specialty on him.
Right.
So I mean, it's like, do I want to bet Tavares at what -200 or whatever he's at right now? No. But I mean, GM3. I mean, it would have to be GM3 or pass. Probably just the old faithful GM3 round 2, round 3 sub or something. Maybe he can get him down. His takedowns aren't the greatest,
Right.
So it's like, man, it's tough because if it's on the feet, I definitely favor Tavares on the feet. Like, it's gonna have to be GM3 landing takedowns and finding something, man. Yeah, but I'm just gonna probably play the GM3 round 2, round 3, and maybe watch it live. But yeah,
Yeah. To me, this is I'll take GM3. Tavares, he's not a finisher. GM3, we've seen him get cracked in the UFC a few times, and the chin can definitely be a problem. But I don't think Tavares is going to threaten with that. He's not going to threaten with volume. His volume's not high. And GM3, for not being a great striker, he can hold his own on the feet. He's not a fish out of water. The main thing with him is just avoiding getting clipped and dropped and finished. But I just don't see that threat here. And Tavares is a good fighter. Historically, he's been durable, but like you said, the durability's fallen off. I think that Drake's fight kind of started that downward slope. His takedown defense has been very good historically, but we've seen him get taken down 2 times in the last 2 fights, 2 times apiece, which is not something we saw back in the olden days with him. So I feel like his takedown defense has slipped a little bit, his durability slipped a little bit, and when GM3 wins fights, it's usually as a 2-1 dog. It's happened many times. He finds a way, and I just don't think Tavares threatens with enough for the line to be what it is. So this is a dog or pass spot for me, and I think GM3 gets it done here. I really do. All right, that moves us to our next fight in the bantamweight division. We've got Codavarius Ramios taking on Chang Ho Lee. 2 guys that, you can definitely poke holes in both of their games. Chang Ho Lee coming off the road to UFC, which we've seen, it's provided a couple good, decent fighters, but not for the most part, not the best. Romeo's athletic guy, a little smaller. He's going to have a little size disadvantage in this fight, so he's going to have to contend with that, but he is athletic. He's got pretty solid takedown defense. He scrambles pretty well. This fight, to me, I feel like it's going to be pretty competitive throughout. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, it's a pretty close fight. I mean, I was kind of high on Romeus in his debut, and he let me down in that one. Just didn't have anything just got beat up, and really disappointing performance. He's a decent striker. The wrestling is not all that. The cardio is a big question mark for me. But he is an athletic guy, but it's just like he got starched in his first fight in the Contender Series, and then he came back, and it was just like, he won, but the performance wasn't all that great. And then he came in and had a disappointing debut. So I don't know. And then we got Chung Ho Lee, who is coming off the road to UFC. Who I really don't like backing road to UFC guys, but the guy seems strong. He seems like he has good power in his hands, good striking. Good takedown defense, good cardio. This is a tough one. I'm going to pick Lee here just to be the more grimy, more active, better cardio, land the more powerful strikes, and just better fight IQ.
Yeah, I get that. Because Lee knows what he wants to do for sure. He's going to come forward. He's going to try to push him up against the cage. To me, this is a close fight. It's a coin flip fight. I lean Romeus just a little bit, but again, like you said, he's had some disappointing performances. His cardio is somewhat of a question mark. So I think I'm probably going to end up just watching this one, betting it live, see kind of where we're at. But my original pick, and I'll stick with it, it was Romeus. I do think he can stuff some takedowns and make it ugly. And if his cardio holds up, I think he can find a way to win this fight. I tend to, at this point, I kind of want to fade these road to contenders road to UFC fighters. But yeah, to me, it's a coin flip fight. There's so many holes in both of their games. Lee does have solid grappling, but his takedowns aren't the best. He does push guys up against the cage. He can get takedowns, but he's not always the most effective. So yeah, for me, Romeus is the official pick. but I'm probably just going to bet this one live and see if I can get a good number somewhere.
Yeah, we're on the opposite side a lot this week.
Yeah, I know. I don't like it, man. I don't like it.
We're
But
not seeing eye to eye.
no, it's not good. Coming off last week's card, I was hoping we would see these a little bit more similar,
Yeah,
but again, that's a fight. Like I'm probably not going to have a bet going into the fight, so
yeah.
we'll see if I do have anything on it by the end of the night. All right, our next fight is in the featherweight division. We've got Pat Sabatini taking on Joanderson Brito. Man, it's tough with Sabatini, man. He's an extremely talented fighter that's just very fragile. And he's taking on Joanderson Brito, who's he's got some power, he can crack. He's pretty well rounded. His grappling's good. He's got good submissions. Yeah, this is an interesting fight for sure. I mean, Sabatini has looked like $1 million at times, but other times we've seen him get starched, and he's been finished 3 times. He's been knocked out 3 times, so that chin is a bit of a question mark. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, this is just definitely gonna produce some violence here. So this ain't going the whole way. Somebody's getting finished. Sabatini, not the greatest striker. Like you said, that chin is pretty much dust. If something lands flush, he's pretty much going out. I mean, Damon Jackson put him out with the one shot, which is, I mean,
Yeah,
that says something.
not a great look.
Not a great look. Yeah. So, but on the ground, his subs, I mean, he's got really good grappling and really good submission game. If he gets it there, that's where his world is, down there in the grappling and the BJJ. That's where he's going to want to be. And Brito, he's pretty well rounded as well. I mean, good grappler, good subs, finisher, powerful. I mean, he throws bombs. He throws, everything with intent to put you out. And, I think I think he absolutely starches Pat Sabatini. I think he sends him to the shadow realm. And yeah, it's Brito by knockout.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I'm very high on the under in this fight as a parlay piece, because I do think if Sabatini wins, I do think Sabatini probably finishes him. Gets his back, chokes him out. But
Under,
yeah,
great
I agree,
parlay
man.
piece. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think the under 2.5 is a great parlay piece, or under 1.5.
I think
maybe.
it was like minus 160. I saw that, which
Yeah.
I don't mind, honestly. I think one of these guys is either getting knocked out or getting submitted. I just feel like that's kind of the way this fight's going to go. But yeah, man, I think Brito definitely has a chance to knock him out. Sabatini is very dangerous, and when he gets the grappling going, he generally looks like a buzzsaw. But man, you land that one good shot, and he's in another world.
Yeah,
so.
if he can get takedowns here and hold him down and find his back, maybe, then he can have a lot of success. But I don't see him doing that to Brito. I think Brito, I'm pretty high on this guy. I mean, his last fight against Gomes, we all expected him to get a finish there, but I mean, Gomes is kind of a decisionator, and he squeaked out a split decision. I thought Brito probably edged it, but I mean, I'm not a judge, so I can't really call it. But I'm hot. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think Brito probably does catch him. I mean, I'm a big Damon. I've been a big Damon Jackson guy in the past. I've kind of jumped off the bandwagon, recently, but to get crushed by him is not a great look.
No.
The Diego Lopez thing, you can take that, and it is what it is. But Sabatini's chin is definitely a problem, and generally speaking, when these guys have chin issues and they're fighting guys who Brito can grapple. He's been taken down, he's been controlled at times, but he definitely can grapple. he can stuff some takedowns. He can make obviously he's going to want to keep the fight on the feet. So his goal is going to be to stuff some takedowns early and land something big. So I'm betting on violence in this fight. I think I will have the under 2.5 in a parlay somewhere. But I agree. I think Brito probably finds the button at some point and gets him out of there relatively early, I would think.
Yeah.
All right, our next fight is in the this is our main event. We've flew through this.
We missed one fight. I don't know who Boudet's opponent is. I have no clue, and I just found that out like literally hours ago. So I got to look at that one, but it's probably Boudet. And yeah, I have no clue on that one. Got to look into it.
Yeah, we definitely have to look into that one. You're right. That one's.
So I have no idea who his opponent is. I've never heard of
I mean,
guy.
that fight literally had to have gotten canceled within the past few
2 hours ago. It was 2 hours.
Yeah. So I would say I'm probably going to favor Boudet because Boudet at least has been training and he's taken on a guy making his debut. I did see the name, not a name that I'm familiar with. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see if that fight even happens. But yeah, you're right. We'll probably end up being on Boudet, which is not my favorite place to be. But
no. Anyway,
we move on. Our main event is in the featherweight division. We've got Josh Emmett taking on Lerone Murphy. Two guys that I'm a big fan of both guys. I think this is a great fight. Josh Emmett, he's just turned 40, or he turns 40 maybe tomorrow. So obviously age a bit of a factor here. Lerone Murphy has looked really good. I mean, he's had some fights where, you could argue maybe he should have lost, but, the Edson Barbosa fight, he looked like $1 million. His last fight against Dan Ige, not as impressive, but again, Dan Ige, tough guy, tough out. He did get clipped in that fight, which is always, a problem when you're fighting a guy like Josh Emmett who can send you to the shadow realm. I do have a bet. I actually threw a couple units on Josh Emmett at +5.5, but I do think it's a great fight. I think I'm leaning Murphy. I think Murphy can get the job done, but I do think Emmett's live to cover the 5.5. What are your thoughts on this one?
Wow, you took the +5.5, huh?
Yeah.
That's interesting. Josh Emmett, we know what we're getting out of this guy. He's a fan favorite. He goes out there, he goes to war, he throws bombs. Last fight, absolutely sent Bryce Mitchell to fucking Jupiter. And then I watched one of his interviews, and he was talking about in his pre-fight, conference, and he was talking about how, he just didn't want to fight. He wanted to heal his body. So, his body going, he's coming off injuries. He's done a lot of physical therapy. And, you don't like to hear that a lot for a 40-year-old guy. It's kind of concerning, but it's like it's taken a lot of damage recently. That Taporia fight was just, Taporia just absolutely like 42'd him, just destroyed him. That wasn't a good look. But he bounced back with that Bryce Mitchell fight, So yeah, we know what we're gonna get. He's gonna come forward, he's gonna throw overhand rights, he's gonna throw big bombs, and that's what he is. Can he wrestle? I guess that would be a path to success here if he were to mix in a takedown, maybe. Definitely, because we've seen, Murphy kind of be susceptible to takedowns, even though Murphy has made improvements in that area. In his last couple of fights, he's got some good get up game, good reversals, and he's implemented grappling on his own. Murphy's he's a really good, really technical, kickboxer. And he throws, he's got good power, real technical, good volume. Well-rounded kid. Undefeated. Great fighter. Like to get behind the kid. But concerning as well, like you said, that Ige fight, like it seems like in every fight he has like one little moment where it's like a little hiccup, yeah, he's just got to clean that up, and I think he's got potential, to get up there and fight for a title, if he keeps winning. But this is a
Yeah.
test for him here, and it's like, man, it's like Josh Emmett always has that equalizer, man, that power, and if he lands, he can put anybody out. But I just think Murphy is way more technical, man, and just going to be able to just stay at range and just piece him up, kick his legs, beat him up, and yeah, probably win a decision because I mean, Taporia put all that damage on him, and Josh Emmett, he's got no quit in him. The guy's gonna, unless you hit him with the hammer, then then
Yeah.
or sub him like Yair did, which I
Right.
don't know if that's really Murphy's game to be able to do that. But I can see Murphy getting takedowns here too as well. Yeah, it's going to be Murphy and Murphy by decision for me. Like Murphy here.
Yeah, I agree. I think Murphy's the side here. I do think he wins the fight, but I think it's competitive. I think it's a close fight, and Emmett definitely has the potential to crack him, drop him, and even if that's not enough to put him away, I do think he can win a couple rounds here. I think it's a close fight. The Taporia fight, I mean, Taporia definitely put a ton of damage on him, but there was I was obviously big on Taporia in that fight, and the whole time I was still nervous because Josh Emmett was there the whole time. He kept coming forward. I was just worried he was going to land that big shot late, and obviously Taporia, we've seen what the guy is. He's a freak, and he's as good as it gets. So I give Emmett a little bit of credit there for not quitting, keep coming forward. And I don't think Murphy can put that kind of damage on him. In fact, I know he can't put that kind of damage on him. That's just not the type of fighter he is. He is a good technical fighter. He can definitely land good volume and, outpoint him and win rounds and get the job done. But I expect this fight to go all 5 rounds. And, with that, plus money, or well, I guess even money on the plus 5.5. I just think it's worth a shot. So that's where I'm at. I do think I'll probably have a bet on Murphy. I would think by decision, but yeah, officially I think Murphy probably does win the fight. Emmett's older. He's gonna have to probably put him out to win it. But I think he's definitely going to make a great fight of it. I think it's going to be a close fight, and I think he can grab a round or two on the scorecard. So that's where I'm at. And that's it for us. We got the full card broken down. Obviously, we're not seeing, fully eye to eye on this card like we were last week. So hopefully, obviously we're not going to – it's not as confident going in, but I think I'll pick and choose my spots here, and I think we'll still find a way to make some money. But as always, we are live for all the NASCAR races over the weekend. We've got NBA going on. Obviously, we got NHL. So there will be shots to make money here. We'll be live all weekend, like I said. And yeah, NASCAR is back as the promo code for a free week. And with that, Johnny, unless you got anything else, we can get out of here.
No, good luck, and see you guys this weekend.
All right. Thanks for tuning in. Share the video with a friend, and let's cash some tickets.